Hello everyone. Uh, Today I'm going to take you through how to create network security group, virtual private network, virtual network, etc. on cloud lab environment. I'll be using Azure Cloud Lab. I want to thank Udacity in cooperation with Bertelsmann for this scholarship opportunity and be able to practice hands-on lab on their platform. Uh, so let's dive into the business of the day. Um, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, okay, I'm already sharing my screen. So I will click on Access Lab. While my lab is loading, I want to show you the exercise. This is the task given to create a network security group, virtual network, subnet, virtual machine, associate public IP address, and so on. So this cloud lab is timed for 2 hours. Okay, it's yet to load. Um, if it's taking so much time, I need to refresh my browser. Shouldn't take so much time. Once again. Yeah, so it's loading already. And this will take 10 minutes. I'll be back. Yeah, so I have just 2 hours for this lab. So I need to run everything quickly. Yeah, so there is a countdown, and once your time is up, you can't go back to the previous resources you created, even if you have the opportunity to access another lab environment. So I will, what I will do is to access Azure Portal both on my browser, which is Chrome, and inside this VM. I will also open Udacity course on both because there are some scripts I need to run which I will not be able to copy from my browser into my VM. So I need to access Udacity. Uh, yeah, and for clearer picture, clearer view, I'll be doing some things on Azure account, Azure Portal on my browser. So in summary, on both browser and the VM cloud environment, I will log into Azure. I will log into Udacity. Yeah, so both of them. So I'm going to input my credentials to log into Azure portal. I will do this offline and I'll come back. So I am in the Azure account, both on my cloud environment. Whenever I say workstation or cloud lab workstation, it means VM. So I will just, for the sake of this video, I will refer to it as VM. So VM, I have Azure. I have logged in into Azure on my VM and on my browser, which is this. Then I have Udacity open because I'm going to need the certificate. Then this is my VM tab. So I have 3 tabs on my browser and then 2 tabs. There should be 2 tabs open on my VM. The second one should be for Udacity because of the script I'll be needing later on. I'll just log in Udacity login. This one. Then I'll sign using my Google account. So this is done. I'll begin the task by first creating a network security group. Yeah, network security group. So I will go to this search bar and type in network security group. But before then, I want to check the resource group that is already provisioned for this particular lab. So I'm going to search for resource groups. Yeah, for every lab, there is a resource group already provisioned, so we don't need to create it newly. So this is what we'll be using for all our deployment. Okay, so I want to create network security group. Okay, so add a new one. The subscription is given already from Udacity. Resource group is the one that is already created. Use the drop down and select the already created one. Name, my first name, underscore network security group. Review and create to validate. Once the validation test is passed, then I will go ahead to create. This should be deployed in a few seconds. Yeah, so my deployment is complete. The next task is to create virtual network. I'll go to search bar again. I hope I'm recording. Yeah. Search bar, virtual networks. So I will create a new one. Use the same step as before. The resource group is already selected. Then the name. Oof, what did I click on? Mark, no. Yeah. Okay, so I'll put my name, Opeyemi underscore VNet. Region is default. So review plus create to run validation tests. Once this has been accepted. Okay, this security tab, I will leave it as default. All these are not needed. Azure Bastion, Azure Firewall, DDoS network protection, they are not needed. So that's why I skip these tabs. IP addresses is set to default. Then I'll go ahead and create. Once my deployment is complete, the next thing is to create subnet inside this virtual network. Sorry, virtual networks. What is this? Virtual networks. Okay, so this is the one I created. I will, I will click on it, then go to subnet to create a new subnet named management subnet. Management underscore subnet. Okay, I will leave the default subnet address range, then NAT gateway none, network security group none for now. We will assign network security group later. I will first go ahead to create the security group, then I will come back to assign it to this particular subnet. Route table, every other thing is default. Then save. Now my management subnet is created. So we will go ahead to create a network security group for the management subnet. Search for network security group. Create a new one specifically for this subnet. Resource group is the existing one we have as already provisioned. Then the name management, sorry, management underscore network security group. Review and create. Validation test passed. Go ahead to create to deploy the management network security group. Deployment is complete. Now go back to allocate the subnet created to this network security group. So we search for virtual networks under Opeyemi VNet. We have subnets. Note that everything we are doing on the Azure portal located in the browser is automatically created in the VM, in Azure portal in the VM. I mean, we have the same login credentials and everything is in the cloud. Just like when using your Gmail and then you access it on your desktop, you access it on your PC, on your mobile, you have the same updates. Management subnet, then you assign the security group created, which is management NSG. And then save. Okay, so for the next step, we are specifically instructed to complete the step in Azure portal that is loaded on our browser, not inside the lab workspace. So I'll go ahead by searching for virtual network gateways. We want to create VPN by going to virtual network gateways. Virtual network gateways. Yes, this one with padlock. Then I will create a new one. Put my name, Okwayemi underscore VPN. The region stays the same. Note that the region used from the beginning should be the same throughout for all your deployments. So I will advise you to stay with the default presented by the machine. Okay, so gateway type is VPN, like default. SKU is VPN GW1. Generation is 1. Virtual network is the one I created earlier, Okoyemi underscore VNet. Then this gateway subnet address range stays default. Public IP address, yes, create new. And the address name, I will just put VPN IP. That is IP address for this VPN. The public address SKU is standard, yes. Assignment, yes. For this enable active to active mode. As default, it is enabled, so you change it to disabled. We don't need this. And then configure BGP is also disabled. Check what you have one more time, then you proceed to review and create. Review and create will review what you have and check if it is validated. So validation is passed, I'll go ahead to create. So this deployment of virtual virtual network gateway can take up to 45 minutes. It can be less than that, but approximately 45 minutes. So during this time, because I have limited time on this cloud lab, just 2 hours, um, I still have a couple of steps to cover. So I will go to PowerShell and start creating the certificates necessary for the authentication. I'll go to the VM. First, I want to check if I have everything intact, like you can just refresh. Is the resource group created? Actual networks. To see the subnet which I created on that, go to these 3 lines, then scroll down. No. First, click virtual net, then go to the menu meant for the virtual network. Then you see subnet and you see the subnet created. Yeah. Okay, so I will go to Windows PowerShell, go to my search button. Windows PowerShell. Then I will run as admin. Right click, run as administrator. I want to check on this one. Okay, deployment is still in progress. Okay, so here I want to create authorization certificate for point to site configuration. To do this, I opened PowerShell and run as administrator. Then I will navigate to Windows/System32. Using the command line, I want to go to another folder. So I will go to the previous folder, cd dot dot enter to go to users, cd dot dot enter to go to C. And the folder I intend to open is Windows System C Windows System 32. So I'll go to Windows, sorry, CD Windows, enter, then CD System 32, enter. So now that I'm in the intended folder, I will need the script for the certificate, which is given in Udacity lesson. So I will go ahead. I already have my Udacity opened. I already log in, and I am now in the exercise where I have the root and client certificate. So I will I'll copy the client certificate, sorry, root certificate first. Copy to go to command line, sorry, PowerShell. Go to PowerShell and paste. Enter. Yeah. Then I'll go ahead to copy the client certificate as well. Client certificate, I copied too much. Client certificate, copy and paste. I hope I'm not copying the same thing. I have the same thing. I want to create client certificate. I'm going to select this and copy. Why is it taking me to copy? Go to PowerShell, paste. Yeah, and click enter. Then you have this as response. Next, I will open manage user certificates on search bar. Manage user certificates. Let me check on the Azure gateway we are configuring here. No, yeah, is it still in progress? Yeah. So in the meantime, I will open manage user certificates from the start menu and I will go to persona. Persona. We are going to export both of these certificates to the desktop. They have different steps, but I'm going to walk you through the steps. Okay. So from manage user certificates, I will go to persona, which is here, then certificate, Azure root certificates. We have to undo it one by one. Azure root certificate first, right click, select all task, export, Continue. Click next. I can't see next. Oh, I think I need to. Because I can't see next. Yeah, so I was able to find my way around it because I can't expand the screen more than this. So I just click on enter because I couldn't scroll down to the next button. So when I clicked enter, it took me to the next page. We don't have to export the private key, so we'll leave it as default. And go to next. I can't find the next button, so I just click enter. Enter, okay. The next, I will select base 64 encoded. Note, do not select default. Do not select DER encoded binary. We need to select base 64 encoded. So I will select this. The others are grayed out. Click next. Then file name. I want to save it on my desktop for me to be able to find easily. Select desktop, then I will name it Azure Root Set. Save. Oh, I thought I already saved. Azure Root Set on desktop. Save. Mm, I hope this works because the next thing is to click finish and OK. Mm. Ooh, okay. So the export was successful and I have completed the certificate export wizard. Okay. Now to our dear Azure client certificates. I also need to go through some steps similar but not the same as root certificate. Right click Azure client certificate, all task, export, next. Yeah. So here, what is different here is I will check yes that I want to export the private key. I want to export private key for the client. Click on next. So this is asking us to leave it as default, but I realized that the two which are selected in the instruction is the first one, include all certificates in the certification path if possible, and enable certificate privacy. This as well. So I need to do that manually. Click next and to give it a password. Note that this password will be needed to connect, so you have to remember the password. I'll do this offline. Next, I will input the file name. The name of the file I want to export. So I'll just name it Azure client sat. Azure client sat. I would like to save this on my desktop. Same name, Azure client sat. Oh, okay. So this file name is name path. So enter. Oh, this exports it to the desktop. So finish and okay. So we are done with uh both certificates. Let's check on the virtual network gateway that is being deployed, is still in progress. And how many minutes do I have left for the lab? I have 1 hour 11 minutes. That was pretty fast. Next thing to do